Okay, it looks like I ran myself out of time again. Okay, so like I was saying, the radius dimension is for some reason the default is it's showing up and nothing else is, even though I'm not at a scale of 1 to 1. So the reason why that radius changed its scale and added in a 1 to 2 scale on my layout 1 viewport was because I had accidentally turned on my add scales, so it changed any of the selected dimensions to include the scale I changed to. So I want to make sure I have that turned off, and I'm going to switch this scale to 1 to 4. So now we can see that my two larger dimensions, the 4 times as high in text height as the radius dimension, are going to be the only ones that show up. We can see once again that if I show annotation objects, there are the ones on the left side, which are half the height of these guys, and then the radius dimension, which is half the height of the ones on the left side. So I'll turn that back off, and I will add in one more final viewport, sort of a detail view. This is just sort of a neat little trick that I learned about pretty recently. If I draw an object, it can be any object that's enclosed, I'll do a circle just for simplicity. So if I got a circular area that I want to turn into a viewport, I can go into the viewports, and rather than putting in some sort of object, a new object rather, I can just click on object. That allows me to select a boundary, and there we go. I've got a new viewport inside that circle. So since I only want the radius to show up in this one, I'm going to switch the scale to 1 to 1. I'm going to double click inside the viewport so I can pan over to where I want to be. And there we go. I've got my radius, sort of a detail view with this radius. And this one's a little too small, but again, if I showed the other annotation objects, then it would show the remainder of these dimensions. So basically what annotated dimensions are doing is I've got 3 different viewports with 3 different scales. But you'll notice that all of the dimensions that are showing up in the scaled viewport are still all showing up at the same height of 1/8 of an inch, which is good because we want, when we print things out, we want it all to show up at the correct text height and the correct arrow size without having our dimension text lines and arrows scaled along with. So that should be enough for now. I've just sort of scratched the surface of annotative dimensioning. I know that there's a lot more that you can learn, so feel free if you have some time to, you can always check out, there's this little question mark up here. You can always go into the AutoCAD help menu. They've got a pretty comprehensive sort of manual where you can search things you want to learn about, or you could just go on YouTube or Google or something and learn more about annotative dimensioning.